way. Through my whole career, I always had an A and B plan, teaching and firefighting paramedicine, and then the online work, and then getting a lot of experience and learning around marketing, digital marketing, and all of that. So I've always had A and B plans just in case. And so helping people be future ready for the next COVID or the next whatever so that you can continue to pursue your dreams and reach some financial freedom in your life. That is what we want to support with Future Ready Consulting. Welcome to Journey to Impact, where I, Janet Hurn, talk to entrepreneurs who are trying to create impact in the world. We have a series of podcasts already up on this YouTube channel and all your favorite podcasting stations. And today we have a very interesting guest. The guest today is, well, I am the guest today. So I have been thinking you don't know a whole lot about me, but you're learning a whole lot of interesting things about the guests that I have been interviewing. But today it's going to be me. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to use the same question template that I start out with everyone else, and we'll see how it goes. All right. So why don't we go ahead and get started? All right. Janet, can you tell me about your personal journey and how it led you to become an entrepreneur involved in creating impact? Well, this story could get long, so I'm going to try to shorten it up. I've always been interested in working with people, helping people. When I was a kid, I pretended I was a teacher. My father was a teacher. My mom was a librarian. Lots of education in my household. I saw the TV show Emergency, and I wanted to be a firefighter paramedic. Mom wasn't thrilled about that, so we kind of took the college journey first. So that was kind of my first things that I like to play around with. I'd like to do every job at least once and then go back and do them again, the ones I liked. So I really liked teaching and EMS. So anyway, fast forward, I go to college at Miami University and I tried different pathways. I changed my major 3 times, and then I had a great chair of a department of physics, Dr. Bill Hauk, and he pushed me towards teaching again, which in the end really was my calling. And so I became certified to teach physics in high school. All right. Now, high school teaching, don't know how good I would have been at that. So what I ended up doing was teaching college at the regional campuses of Miami University. And I really, really loved it. I did it in grad school, and so they kept me on to do it moving forward. And I really loved that because the students were there to really change their lives. They were paying their own way for the most part. They were working at the same time. So I really connected with those students, and I loved that. I did that for 23 plus years. And then I transitioned into the online learning space and building up an online learning arm for Miami University and the regional campuses for online and hybrid courses. Now, why that is interesting is because I really started a passion for wanting people to have access to a Miami University degree if they wanted one, if they were willing to do the work. I wanted to be there for them to be able to do that work and be able to come to the university. Regional campus cost was fairly low. And if we could remove the access barrier for people who had to work at the same time, babysitters, all of those type of things, then, I wanted to do that for them. So we created, we started with 2 people, ended up with a team of 20, and we built all kinds of online programs. And the passion was around providing that access. And we provided lots of access. And I've had the pleasure of having a lot of people come up to me and say, I couldn't have gotten a college degree had there not been online classes. So that was pretty stinking cool. But fast forward, and time to retire, or as I'd like to say, turn the page on a new chapter. By the way, I also did firefighting and paramedicine. Uh, in that time I was teaching, I got to live that dream out. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. That was more of a quick win. You could help people and see that right away. With teaching, sometimes you don't know if you've made an impact, and sometimes you don't know for years. They come back and tell you later. So I like the short-term wins and the long-term wins of that. So that was really cool. I loved it to do that. And now I've started a business with my partner, Future Ready Consulting. You get to see the podcast from that. We have a web or a YouTube channel. And now the passion is helping anyone who wants to start a small business or move from one profession to another. Maybe they're just stuck or struggling to enjoy their work, helping that person figure out what is the work they like to do and giving access to that by providing a pathway through starting their own business or changing careers if that is the best fit for them. And that's what we want to provide with Future Ready Consulting. We want to make you future ready. Through my whole career, I always had an A and B plan, teaching and firefighting paramedicine, and then the online work, and then getting a lot of experience and learning around marketing, digital marketing, and all of that. So I've always had A and B plans just in case. And so helping people be future ready for the next COVID or the next whatever, so that you can continue to pursue your dreams and reach some financial freedom in your life. That is what we want to support with Future Ready Consulting. Next question. So tell me more about your business and your organization. Okay. Future Ready Consulting is what I kind of explained before. It is an organization to help people who maybe feel stuck in their careers, or they're ready for a change. They're ready to go to the next level. So you may have a really great skill or talent or some great knowledge that you want to sell or access, whatever that might be. Say, for example, landscaping. You're really good at landscaping. You love being outdoors. It's time to start your own business. You want to do a landscaping business. Well, I know nothing about landscaping, really, but I know a lot about digital marketing, about social media marketing, about workflows, and we have the software to support small business that is the best around, HighLevel, and is also, in the end, the least expensive. You get the most ROI for that. So we provide that software. I can set up your website, and we get your logo, your name started, because the world of landscaping. Okay. We don't, but why should you have to learn digital marketing, how to create a website, all of those things in order to do your passion? You shouldn't. You should be able to just do your passion. So we want to be here to open those doors for people. We're door openers for education, for this, and we want to be able to do that for you. The other service we just added that I'm super excited about is we're working with the McFletcher Corporation that's been in business for over 50 years. And the McFletcher Corporation has developed the work style patterns process, which helps people align the work that they want to do with the work they are currently doing, with the work they're being expected to do. So it's an alignment of all of these things together so that you are happy in your work. Your company is happy with your work, and your colleagues are happy. And this can apply to families as well as teams, sports teams. It's really an incredible process. It's validated. It's some inventories that you take and your supervisor does, as well as it can look at the whole team as a whole. And it's an incredible process that is helping countless people enjoy their work, either by giving them strategies to change the type of work or how they look at that type of work, or it's giving strategies to teams of people and companies to maybe move some job responsibilities around so that people are doing the work they want to do. They're more productive. Because let's face it, if we don't like the work that we're doing, we avoid it or we procrastinate and we're not productive and we're not happy. And that's when I feel like people have low morale in their work. So this process is super cool. We just became certified in offering this to people. So that is super exciting. And it's something that can really create impact in a person's life. It's already created impact in mine. So I feel like if we can get some young people to go through this process, it's not about then their major or their career choices. It's about the type of work. They know the type of work that they enjoy. And so that's what they can seek out. Because let's face it, you go to college, you get a degree, and you're probably not doing that thing. So I got a degree in physics and education, and now I'm doing this. So it's not about the work type. It's about how the work is done. It's not about the career move, is what I'm trying to say. How do we measure impact that we are making? Well, that's an interesting question that I think is important. Currently, we are looking at impact by how successful that business is or that person is. So, are they happier in their work? Have they been able to set up their business? Do they have customers? Have we removed a barrier for them in starting that business? Have we been able to get them started? For example, a gentleman we work with came in and said, I need everything. I know how to do this one thing, which again, we didn't know anything about. And I need everything. I need a website. I need logo. I need colors. I need a way to collect client information. I need a way to collect money. I need everything. And we got right to work and we provided all of those things. And he now has his business front set up and he is in business. It's not enough to have your knowledge and set up an LLC. You have to have a digital front door now. You have to have a footprint out there because frankly, the first thing people check is your website or your social media or something to make sure you're legitimate. So we can provide that pretty quickly and get things stood up. And he is now doing the business that he has been kind of dreaming and thinking about. And that, frankly, is a cool feeling that to see people doing what they're truly passionate about. Um, and the other thing that we look at is are people that normally don't get a seat at the table getting seats at the table, or people that weren't getting a seat at the table have set their own table. We want to help you set your own table so that you now can impact the world with the cool things that you can do. Sometimes if you don't get that seat at the table, one of the options is to set your own table. And if we can help do that, then that's truly amazing work. We're new. We're just getting going. I've really only been doing this full time for almost exactly 1 year, which is another kind of reason I wanted to make this podcast. It's pretty cool. June 1st. I've been focusing on the business for a year. So we're new, but we have created impact. We have influenced people. People have contacted me and said, I watched your podcast or your YouTube videos, and I'm doing the things that you suggest and said, and now I'm going to start my own business. And it can be a side hustle. Starting a side hustle is perfect to get started. And then when you get some momentum, you walk away from that 9 to 5 and you run the business. So that has been really inspiring and exciting for us. So I kind of shared a success story with you. What are the biggest challenges we face to create impact? Well, I could go on for a long time about that. The challenges we faced. One of the things I already mentioned, sometimes depending upon who you are and where you come from and how you think and who you love, You face challenges of being accepted at a table or accepted in a group and an organization. And that is another barrier. It's hard enough to create impact or do good work. But if you face barriers because people like you are not at that table, that's rough. I've experienced that. I hate it. And I don't want that for other people. So if I can take down some of those barriers or like I said, help them set their own table so they don't have to go ask for a seat at another table, then I would like to do that. Other barriers. I have ideas for days and days. I have ideas. And I can't do all my ideas. We have one VA on staff, but other than that, we're really trying to build the business by taking money we make in the business and putting it back in the business. So I have ideas for days and I don't have time for days. And to try and keep up with all the ideas and things that we've started is challenging. And I probably started more things than I should have. Fail forward, figure it out. I encourage everybody just to start and see where you go. So I started, and I've started a podcast, and I've started a YouTube channel and website and the whole thing. And that's a lot. But I try to time block and plan and be okay with whatever I've done. I try not to kick myself and get upset with myself. I just try to move forward in the best way that I can, because forward movement is positive movement. And I encourage everyone else to do that as well. And if you don't feel like doing something today, but you know it's important, you just try to do it. Or you ask for help and encouragement from the people around you. Surround yourself with people who are in your corner and rooting for you. Because if they're not in your corner rooting for you, if you're working with people that doubt you and you report what you're doing and they're like, see, I told you not to start a business, you got to cut those people away from your life and surround yourself with people who care about you and who are interested in what you're doing and supportive, because that's what's going to get you through the hard days and the low days, are those people who believe in you. So if I'm feeling down or doubtful, I run an idea past somebody and, they encourage me and pick me up, and I try to do the same for them, and we move on and we do the hard stuff. You got to do the hard work. This is hard. If you think starting a business is easy, it's not. It's hard work, or everyone would do it. So I hear about what people average, how many YouTubes, they say you got to put up 100 YouTube videos before you should even care about the data. So that's what we're doing. 21 podcasts is way above, way above. It's in a small percentage of what people do for podcasting. So I'm going to put up 21 and then reevaluate. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what people stop doing and don't do. That's the hard work you have to put in. And I know it will pay off in the end. All right. Other questions? How do we collaborate with other stakeholders or organizations to maximize impact? Let me tell you what, if you have a Rolodex, notice I show my age there, Rolodex. If you have a Rolodex of people that you have worked with in your other endeavors, most of my current clients I've worked with in other projects or in other jobs. Or I've met through a community organization in Wyoming, Ohio. We have Elevate, which is super cool. Lindsay Bonadonna started it. So check out, I think it was last episode podcast, if you want to hear about her. She's creating impact all over the place. And this organization, Elevate, is great. I got invited to that because I was a small business owner in Wyoming. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really like these kind of large group things. And I wasn't sure. And I'm not really good with the chit chat sometimes. I like one-on-one conversations mostly. But I went, checked it out, and it was amazing. I met so many people, and some of my business has come from those people, and I've given business to some of those people. And all of us doing this together rowing in the same direction at similar times has been great. We can learn from each other. We can encourage each other. I was also involved with a very cool project with Main Street America and Google, where we tried to get 1,000 businesses impacted by free Google tools throughout the state of Ohio. It was a Downtown Middletown Inc. wrote the grant, and I was really thrilled to be a part. It's wrapping up now. But I met the other coaches from around the US, and I met the Iowa coach, um, Lindsay Newland, and she and I have remained virtual friends. We've never met in person, but we encourage each other. We talk about our businesses and what we can do to support each other and the barriers and how we got around different barriers. So it's really important to surround yourself with a community of similar people, like-minded people who are trying to get the same goals that you are. So I encourage you to do that. That is advice I strongly recommend. And again, surround yourself with people that believe in what you're doing, not in people that are doubters or haters. There's enough of that in the world. So just kindly remove yourself from that if that's what's happening. All right, some upcoming projects or initiatives that I could share that I'm excited about. All right, let's talk about that. So this work style patterns is something I'm very excited about. Had I known my work style profile that described the kind of work I like to do earlier, I don't know if I'd have made different choices, but I would have had some language around it, and I wouldn't have beat myself up so much. Sometimes we procrastinate and we avoid, and then we go, I just kind of suck. Well, you don't suck. You just don't like that kind of work. And that's a big frame shift. That was a big frame shift for me. I also used to tell people I don't play in the sandbox well with others. And I thought that was weird because I do like people. So why don't I like working in the sandbox with others, playing in the sandbox with others? And what I determined was that it wasn't that it was about me. It was about my preference. I don't mind working with people on projects as long as I know my piece and they know their piece, and we go and do our pieces and then we come back together. I don't enjoy work where we maybe all sit at a table and we all work together to complete that work. I've never really liked that. And I think I've had a lot of students say, I don't like group work. I don't think it's that you don't like group work. What I think is that you don't enjoy simultaneous group work where you're stuck in the room with everyone and have to work. You like having a piece of the puzzle and bringing it back after you've done your best work. And that's okay. My WSP profile is independent worker with a manager preference. So I love the strategy and innovation piece of an organization, but I like to do tasks as well. I like to have tangible results at the end of the day. And that's just been kind of transforming for me. So I'm excited to share that with young people getting ready to go to college, as well as people who think there's something wrong with them, why they can't find a job or position in their area that they like. And it's probably because they don't understand the work they like to do and that they're trying to fit into a position that emphasizes that work. Unfortunately, our culture is set up around if you're really good at something, then you get pegged for being a supervisor generally, and that's a different type of work. We also don't train our supervisors very well. We just throw them over the deep end or into the deep end. So if people understand that they are not supervisor type people, that that's not work they like to do, then that's so beneficial for them because then they can be promoted through an organization for their improved skill sets and the things they learn and the advancements they make. They don't have to be moved through the organization based on how many people they manage and get paid extra for managing more people. So I hope to see that culture change, but I think WSP can help influence that change for sure. And that'll be very impactful. And the other thing is we created some great teams when we were working at my university and places. We know how to create great team culture. We're pretty good at that. And this is just an added piece of the puzzle to create that great team culture. So I hope that we can work with other organizations who are working to improve team culture and to get people to enjoy working together and really work together well. And WSP is a key critical piece so that each team member is doing work that they enjoy doing and not just doing work that they might have a skill set in, but if they don't like that type of work, that's not going to be useful. So trying to get people plugged into that right area and then adding the culture pieces on top that we've worked so hard to do, the kudos culture. People don't have to have raises all the time to be happy in their work. They just need to be appreciated. So adding some of those things that we learned and we created in our work cultures along with the WSP is something I'm really super psyched about and would love to talk more about. And maybe I will at a future date. Okay. So, what else can we say today? Let's see. So, what else can I say about creating impact? Future Ready Consulting exists to create impact. We're always going to have that as our North Star. If we are not creating impact in people's lives or organizations' lives, then we're doing something wrong. So that is our kind of our leader. That's the question we need to ask each time we pick a new project. That's why I'm excited about work style patterns to add this to our portfolio because this is impactful to people and organizations. And I think it's impactful to see people who have dreams of starting a business and helping them with the digital pieces of that because they should just worry about their business. And I feel that's impactful. And I hope that this podcast is impactful and that you learn great things about people and all the different ways they create impact and that you feel empowered to create impact. Because if we all kind of focus on that, imagine this world. Imagine this world. So if you want to create impact, watch some of the other episodes in this podcast series, watch the YouTube channel, listen on your favorite podcast app. I hope you'll follow, subscribe, all the things that you need to do to stay up to date on the podcast. Make sure you get alerted for new episodes every 2 weeks. And it's been great sharing my story, and I hope it's been helpful to people. And I encourage you to create impact because without impact, it doesn't matter. See you next time.